Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody. Welcome to what will be a weekly report starting today. I'm here with my co-host, Big Bear. How's it going, sir? How you doing?
All good here, brother. All good here.
So we are going to start dispensing with pleasantries and diving right into the information. We want these weekly reports to be very informative, very clean, very crisp, very thorough, and we're going to be going over some really cool information each week. First, we'll start with a brief update of kind of things that we've accomplished throughout the week, and then we'll dive into a feature of the project. So every week we will be diving into a feature of the project as well. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and to our next slide here. So if you've missed our last few live streams, we highly encourage you to go back and watch them. I'll put a couple links into this, especially part 1 and part 2. The last live stream isn't as critical because it's really just a repeat of the last two of the previous 2 before that, but we've gone over the migration process. Today we are rebooting the 90-day countdown. So this will be the only reboot. And hopefully we don't have to extend and do all that kind of stuff. But we did run into some significant issues when it came to how we were going to promote outreach. We had an issue with our NFT collection. We redid our NFT collection anyway. So it's been a process, but we are rebooting our 90-day countdown today. We've gone over the claiming process. There will be 2 options for claiming stakes. And we do have support docs that are about to be launched today. So you'll be able to kind of read through that. There's going to be a lot of questions on that. And we want people to be very aware of how this process will roll out once we get there. So we've gone over our contracts and tokenomics, our staking protocol, our DAO ownership versus membership. That's important. Rewards have been paused. We've discussed the purpose of the DAO and membership. I said membership versus ownership twice. I guess, it's important to understand membership versus ownership. So we highly suggest you go through those videos, but we will be breaking each of these sections down as we go through them. So this is kind of sort of what a weekly report will look like. Next week's weekly report will probably be a little bit more robust. But for the last couple of weeks, actually the last few weeks, we've been working on the Founders NFT Collection. We've launched the minting page, which we will be revealing here shortly. We've started developing the new AxionDAO.com website. It is going to be more than just a website. It's going to be our merch store. We're going to have a news aggregator with it. We're going to have a lot of tools and reasons for people to come check out AxionDAO. And we have started building our new support docs. And we're about 50% done with the support docs. They are published. And if you go check them out, we will be posting a link. There'll be an article that'll go out tonight, and we'll be posting an announcement with it. What we really want is for our members to go through and read these documents. If there's anything that conflicts with what you thought you knew, or if there's anything that that directly is contradictory on the documents, please let us know. We will be going through them with a fine-tooth comb, and hopefully by this coming Monday, they will be complete. We want to have our support docs completely done, so that as people come in, as we're promoting and as we're showing off the new DAO, they have a resource to go to and learn more. Right from the source. And we've met with a few potential community partners. We are going to be updating the SIVA rewards. We've got some things going on in the back end of Discord. We're going to be doing some token gating. There's a lot of stuff that's in the works. And like I said, next week this report will be a lot more robust. But for getting us started, and the fact that we really kind of want to focus on the NFT collection and launching the Founders NFTs, that's kind of what's most important today. And so
hey James, you might want to Tilt your glasses a little bit. You got googly eyes.
Thank you. See, this is why.
You're good. You're good to go now.
Oh, great. Yeah, see, that shows you I'm not actually paying attention to what people are seeing. I'm actually engaged on this, so appreciate that very much.
No worries. Didn't want to interrupt your flow, but I know you don't like them googly eyes. So.
All right, you know what? I need to invent glasses that are angled. Like that could be a thing, man. You know,
Could be, yeah.
Shut your mouth, James. Okay. So with the Founders NFTs, you're going to have lifetime benefits, and we will be promoting this throughout the 90 days and into our launch, unless we've exhausted the supply, which would be awesome. But the expectation is that we will be doing these up until and at which time we are actually migrating onto base. I think once people really start to see things click in and we start to see things being built and coming together, this will become a very popular go-to way of supporting the project. So the Explorers NFTs are $100. They give you a 2% bonus in the accelerator. They multiply your vote by 1.5. And on launch day, you will be able to claim your first $50 stake that will actually be like an official first stake as a DAO. It'll be much different than when you claim your stakes. But Pioneers are 200, and I'm going to go ahead and just quickly go over this: 3% accelerator, 2% vote multiplier, and $100 buyback on our launch day. Architects are $300, 4% accelerated bonus, 2.5 vote multiplier, $150 claim when you create your first Axion DAO stake. And the Vanguards are only $100, but you have to own the first 3 NFTs, and 100% of those funds will actually be used to buy an additional stake. So if you own all 4 NFTs, you will actually be able to claim 4 stakes for a total of, I think it's $400 in stakes. So a little over half of what you spend on becoming a founder or a Vanguard, at least, goes to stakes. And there's some other cool stuff we're going to be doing around this. We will be adding benefits. We will be adding perks. We will be adding access. And these Founders NFTs really are going to be held by those who become leadership and drivers of the Axion DAO ecosystem. So Explorers are early adopters who recognize the potential to drive meaningful change. Explorers were the first to see the spark of something greater. They recognized the potential of Axion DAO before the foundations were even poured. These are the early adopters, the ones that step forward with conviction, curiosity, and the willingness to be a part of something new. Explorers are the vision scouts, those who helped us chart our course towards decentralization and lasting impact. The curious ones, early believers who recognize the potential to drive meaningful change before the vision was fully clear. These are the individuals who dared to ask the bigger questions, embrace decentralization as a movement, and took the first steps towards building something greater than themselves. Without them, none of this would be possible. Explorers laid the emotional and ideological groundwork of the DAO. And we've got our pioneers. They are the strategists helping forge the DAO's legal and structural framework, lighting the way for others to follow. Pioneers are the bold strategists and builders who rolled up their sleeves and helped to shape the DAO's earliest structure. They laid the groundwork that others will stand upon. These are the community leaders, developers, and advocates who dared to move Axion from idea to action, helping us forge a legal and scalable future as a Utah DAO, social enterprise, and a corporate cooperative. And that's a big mouthful, but that's exactly what we're doing. Strategic builders are helping forge the legal and operational framework that defines Axion DAO. The pioneers don't just dream, they plan. They were among the first to envision a compliant DAO model capable of sustaining partnerships, revenue generation, and governance. These are the hands that shape the soil and pave the road towards others, for others to follow. Architects are the builders shaping the foundation systems others will rely on to thrive, the structural engineers of the Axion DAO vision. Architects are the minds behind the mission, the system designers who bridged innovation with infrastructure. They help shape the rules, guide the roadmap, and create the systems others can rely on. From governance, logic, to economic frameworks, the architects build with vision and integrity to support generations of Axion DAO participants to come, while pioneers lay the pathway. Architects design the systems, staking logic, accelerator rewards, governance models, and onboarding flows. They understand the trust is earned through design, and they take the responsibility seriously. Their work is what makes long-term DAO sustainability possible. And then our visionaries, our vanguards. The visionaries guiding Axion DAO to the future, legally empowered to operate as a decentralized entity, offering compliant products and services as demands and innovation evolve. Vanguards stand at the edge of what's next. They are the early leaders of Axion DAO's next evolution, lighting the path through uncertain terrain. These are the forward thinkers who embrace responsibility and possibility, ensuring Axion remains at the forefront of legal DeFi, offering compliant services and scalable solutions. As the demand for decentralized autonomy grows, visionaries who look past the present and build for the future. These are the forward thinkers, creative leaders, and growth catalysts who see not just what Axion DAO is, but what it can become. Legally empowered and strategically positioned, the vanguards lead with intention. They help Axion operate as a decentralized entity, offering compliant products and services as demand and innovation evolve. The DAO will be shaped by their foresight. These are the Founders NFTs. And these are what I'm going to go mint right now. He says hesitantly. We tried this last week. We did have a few problems, so hopefully everything runs smooth. So I'm here on the new Founders Collection page. We will be providing links to this, but smart people. So I'm actually already connected. But if you have to be on the base network, if you're not on the base network and you come here on the wrong network, you'll get this little switch network required, which would have been really nice to have last week, because that's what was wrong. I was on the test net and not on the main net. And so that's why it looked like I had already purchased them, because I had on the test net. So we're switching to base. Going in here, we're going to select our Explorer, easy peasy, and we're going to confirm. It says it was purchased successfully. Shall we go look on the, so now if we refresh this, all right, it says it's already owned. So right now you're only going to be able to have one NFT per wallet, or one of each, whether it's Explorers, Pioneers. You can have all four, but you can only have one Explorer in your wallet, or one Pioneer, or one. So if you want to collect extra ones for any reason, you would need to do that from a separate wallet. Okay. So I'm going to go in here and see if we can buy us a Vanguard. Why is it saying, okay, so I'm actually going to click on this link. What we need to do, we are getting a, we're seeing this notice when it does a spending cap, and it only does it when it's a spending cap. So what we're going to ask is that, okay, it won't let me buy it. So it won't let you buy this, and we need to update the messages. It won't let me buy this because you have to own the previous 3. But going back to that warning. So what we're asking is, if you see that warning, go to Blockade and just do a little report that this is coming from a safe wallet. We did do the verification. We've done a few things, but this is a very new third party that is now saying there's an issue with our deploying wallet, which we know there's not. So, but we will have that resolved here very shortly. So anyone who can go in and assist us by reporting, you can see here, we're going to have no problems. All right, says purchased, NFT purchase successfully. So if you get those warnings, we are working on getting everything whitelisted and making sure that the contracts show up as legit. We've done the verification and everything. So hopefully we can have that resolved here in the next couple of days. So now I'm going to purchase an architect. And yes, I'm purchasing this with my own funds because these are going to be mine. And we will deal with that. Okay. And we go here. It says already owned. We go here. Already owned. And now we're going to go ahead and purchase the Vanguard. No, we're not getting that request. Okay. And NFT was purchased successfully. So it appears as though we'll have to go check, but that is the first full collection of our Founders NFTs. And of course, we will be adding an additional landing page for you to look at your NFTs. So we'll be working on that so you can actually see your NFTs. Travis does need to go in now and sync this with OpenSea. So these will show up on OpenSea. I'm actually going to go let him know that I have purchased them. So because he is, he's at his desk. Any thoughts, Big Bear, while I'm typing that here? I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, I can't hear you. All right. So go ahead and try to get your audio back up. And so I'm going to go ahead and show you this as well. This is the start of our support docs. We have just about all the information in. I've hidden some sections because we're cleaning them up. We're making sure they're accurate, making sure there's no contradictions. And this was all copy pasted from our master sheets and our Word docs, and a little help with ChatGPT and everything else to kind of format this. So we are kind of going through everything and cleaning it up, but support.axion.dao is live, just as founders.axiondao.com is live. Any luck there, Big Bear? Yeah, I hate it when that happens. So now when you go to our support page, you'll notice up here at the very top, we do have a become a lifetime member of the DAO, purchase your founders NFTs today. And boom, this will go to the landing page for that. And then you can come in to buy the founders. And of course, when I click on it, it says I already owned it. Okay. All good. This is progress, right? Okay, so we are about 6 minutes till the end of our, so when we do these weekly updates, we're gonna do 15 minutes, no more than 15 minutes of the week of an actual update, and another 15 minutes on a feature. It may go over a little bit, but then we're gonna open up the rest of the time for questions, comments, anything that's going on. But I'm gonna go ahead and switch back over here to our presentation, since I do have just a few more minutes left. We are working on a lot of different organic and guerrilla style marketing ideas. We're not going to be spending ridiculous amounts of money on banners and KOLs and everything else. I am speaking, we are working with a few KOLs, and our hope is that they see the value in simply being a part of the DAO and covering what the DAO is doing as an influencer, not as a paid shill, right? So that's the goal. We are documenting this entire process to be combined and put together as a book about DeFi and onboarding to DeFi and the awesome things that DeFi can be. And of course, it will all be centered on Axion DAO and what Axion DAO has done over the last almost 5 years. It would be awesome if I can publish that on our five-year anniversary. That's going to be a goal. We're rolling out, we're revitalizing and rolling out our community partners program. We are building a news aggregator. This is going to be something, guys. This is actually going to be bigger than anybody thinks. This is going to be pretty cool. And it's going to be a very, very strong revenue generator for the project. And the news aggregator will be owned by the project 100%. I'm doing a lot of X Spaces. I do my weekly X Space. We got speaker opportunities coming up, and there's so much more to come. How you doing there, Big Bear? You back yet?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
No, I don't. My AirPods kept disconnecting from my iPad, so I don't know what was going on.
Bummer.
So I just took them off.
We're good. Let me see. I think we've already gone over this. This is what the live streams are going to be looking like. So we are going to be going back through our videos, and we're going to be doing timelines for them. And this is really for legal purposes as well as for purposes that for new people coming and learning. We're going to be legally held responsible for everything we do and say. So we want to make sure that we catalog it, that we record it, that we document it. And so we're going to be going back through the last few live streams and doing that with some links underneath, cleaning it up so that anybody comes across any one of those videos, they can learn everything they want to learn pretty quickly and easily. And so that's going to get us into our 30 minutes of AMA. We don't have a partner to introduce yet, but we have a couple that I will be introducing the team to here shortly. And if those meetings go well, then we've got some pretty awesome stuff, some pretty awesome potential stuff in the works. And that's it. That's our 30 minutes, and we hit it in 28.
Sweet.
So let's go and see if we have any questions. We don't have too many. I actually saw a lot of people saying, "Hey, I can't be there today." And so I think it's going to be a lot of us. But the nice thing is, like I said, we're going to be doing this so that we can go back and watch them after the kid. People can go back and watch them. They can watch the first 30 minutes, get everything they need, and then if they want to hang out and participate in the AMA side of it or watch the AMA side of it, they're welcome to. So what we've done is we've kind of flipped how we do things. In the past, we would open up with chit chat, conversation, little pleasantries and kudos and stuff, and now we're going to kind of do that at the end. So hopefully that will get more people watching these videos, because they know they can come in, they can get the juice, the meat, the potatoes, all of that right at the very beginning. So let's see. Hey, Scully. How's it going, man? Bulquito. That's the first time I've said that. Bulquito. That's a kind of a cool name. Bulquito. Hey, what's up, Bulquito? 92 days. Yeah, I think if you refresh it, it should say 91-ish. I think I'm not sure what. I think 1 o'clock and probably 2 hours. It'll say 90 days. So because we set it for 1 p.m. So that is the goal. Let's make Axion the most prominent protocol in crypto. Well, gosh, we don't have anybody else here with us. Big Bear, any thoughts that you want to share? Any questions you have that you think should be asked? That's the biggest thing, is the challenge to us sometimes is answering all the questions before they're asked, and coming up with those questions. So
yeah. No, I mean, you do. I sit back and I'm amazed at all the work you managed to get done. I think you're right. Coming in and hitting them with the information hard and fast, so they can get what they need. Through basically the first 15, 20 minutes or something like that, and then you can slide into question and answer after that if we have any. A lot of people don't have a lot of time, and we all know that crypto bros have short attention spans. But yeah, I mean, it's, I've said this ad nauseum over and over again. It's been a long process. It's been a long process getting to this point, and for a lot of the community members, they may be falling asleep on us during that process.
Yeah.
Like you said, there's going to be accountability moving forward, and as a project and as team leaders, it's up to you and Deli and myself and some of the other advisors to make, and Jabba, and to make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted. But the fact that we're taking this down an official road now, because there is regulatory framework in place, and we have a crypto-friendly administration in the United States now, it's the best way to move forward is to make sure that the sidewalk is poured in its entirety, and we just don't want to start throwing stones erratically and seeing what sticks. It's a matter of having the roadmap there and executing it one piece at a time. And we're well on our way. I'm amazed at the progress so far. It's nice to see. It's almost like I feel like we're getting some momentum now.
Yeah.
A lot of the legwork that's taken to get to where we are now has been painstaking, and trying to rally all the troops behind the scenes back together and get all the roles set and all the responsibilities sort of dished out. Although I know you're carrying the biggest backpack on your back right now, and I commend you for it, because you stepped up and took over a role that nobody else wanted, and it's exciting. It's exciting to see that this is happening. Finally, it's exciting to see that this is happening. As somebody who's been here since day one, it's exciting to see that it's happening. I've always been a firm believer that this project was going to be something very big, and at one point it was. It was just
the story that we're going to be.
The story is going to be amazing. I mean,
it is
where we started and all the trials and tribulations that we went through, and then the rise of the Phoenix, and then the fall again, and the bear market, and now the bull market. It's nice to see, the markets are pumped today. We got Bitcoin up over 101, ETH up over 2K finally again, and yeah, it's exciting. I think the timing is as coincidental as it may seem. I think it's perfect.
I know, with the market today, I mean, isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
I have always been of the opinion things happen. The universe knows what it wants. And yes, I believe, and I think of that in a consciousness kind of perspective. Because I do believe there are things that happen when they need to happen. And if someone would have said, from the very first time we laid out the very first vote, if someone would have said it would be 9 months before we were actually launching this 90-day countdown, I often wonder if I would have been able to just put that aside and keep working at the pace. And, I was doing what I could do when I could do it at that time. But once we get this support docs all laid out, once we have our GitBook support docs, our white paper, all of that spelled out real clean and sharp, which is going to be my primary focus between now and Monday. That is pretty much the only thing I'm going to be focused on, is making sure our support docs are complete, that they are ready to promote, that we can start putting these press releases out to these major media outlets, and they will have a reference point. Because this was another thing that kind of, it was one of those wrenches that was tossed out there last week when I was ready to start putting out these press releases, and we had that little issue with the DApp not recognizing I was on the wrong network. When we start promoting this and sending this out, I'm going to be doing a few things that I know need to be done in order to leverage yourself and establish yourself as an industry leader, as someone that a media outlet can refer to for questions. This is a goal that I have personally, is to be able to do that and to speak about the DAO on a much larger stage and to a much larger audience. So everything that we're doing today is really intended for that. So you're right. There's a lot of people, because when we first started this, we were very active and everybody was engaged. And I'm pretty confident that they're still watching, but now they're waiting, right? Now the anticipation and the waiting period really begins. Being able to have these support docs completely and utterly up to snuff, cover every angle. They will support our bylaws and our articles of incorporation, and they will be the bus that's driving this project forward. So once I get those done, we can start some real significant promotions. And to be honest with you, that's going to be the end of the heavy lifting. The heavy lifting will be finally done. Granted, we still have to build the website. We still have to do, there's going to be our campaigns and everything else. But ultimately, spelling this out in a way that people can go in, read through the support docs, and when they're done reading the support docs, they have a very clear picture on what exactly Axion DAO is, why we exist, and what we intend to accomplish in the future. So that's the goal.
It's going to be a great resource for promotion and for marketing. Instead of let the support docs, white paper, roadmap, however you want to call it, let that do the heavy lifting for us, because it's a plethora of information that almost, like you and I were discussing in the green room before, almost like reading a story. It's going to be this natural progression to be able to go through everything item by item. It'll take them on this little walkthrough, and hopefully by the end of going through it all, they'll have a fairly good grasp or understanding of what Axion DAO is and what our mission is.
And I want to do these support docs to the level that if you read the support docs, like I said, we're trying to figure out all the questions before we're trying to figure out the answers to all the questions that haven't been asked yet, or that should be asked, or that might be asked. By doing that, it's going to make it easier on us in the ecosystem, because now questions are educated questions. They're informed questions.
Yeah.
They're specific questions instead of these ambiguous, how do we still got people coming in. Have we migrated yet? Or can we claim yet? How do we claim? And being able to say, go to this page on the Sport Doc and you'll get your answer. That's going to be key. That's going to be key to actually getting everything more fluid, getting people excited on the Discord, getting people re-engaged in the community. And then as we start bringing in some of these community partners and we start partnering with some of these communities that are very active, there's going to be a natural progression to our own energy and our own momentum as we move forward. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, and looking forward to those educated, informed questions, where people have actually taken the time to do just a little bit of research on their own, to understand exactly what we're doing, and then to help us get the word out. And that's coming too. We'll be having some really fun campaigns around that. So, and all the while, I need to punch out about 2,000 to 3,000 words a day for the documentation and the book. So maybe the heavy lifting isn't quite done yet, but that's the fun part. I'm actually really, it's really been just this last couple of weeks that my actual enjoyment and my excitement has been picking up as well. And hopefully that's reflecting in the energy that we've got here and everything that we're going to start doing moving forward. And that puts us at right 40 minutes. So I think we'll go ahead and call it a day. What do you, any last parting thoughts?
No, I covered everything that we need to cover for this week. It's time for you to get back to work, James.
So a couple articles that you can look forward to seeing this afternoon. The Founders NFTs, we're going to be doing an article for the Founders NFTs. As soon as the support docs are done, I might actually go ahead and do an article for the support docs. Now, I'm going to wait till Monday. On Monday, I expect to have the support docs article out promoting the support docs. And then I will be putting these press releases out to the major media outlets. So look for that one today for the Founders NFT Collection. And once we get off this call, I'm going to get with Travis and make sure that it's synced up to the various NFT, like OpenSea. What's the other one that was mentioned?
I think he mentioned Magic Eden as well.
Yeah. So, and if there's any other NFT so there are a lot more NFT collection sites out there. So if there's one that you're using that you really like, just shoot us a message in general, and don't put a link to it, because if you put too many links, you might get timed out. It's a new system we're running that will help protect us from scammers. So we don't want you to actually, get caught up in that. So if there's if there's an NFT site that you really like, that it might be good for us to sync up with and even, reach out to, just let us know. Is Punky in the book? I think Punky will probably be in the book. And I'm gonna say this real quick. This book will not be out to disparage anybody. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. The builders in the past were trying to build. They were trying to do something amazing, and they did. And it worked for a while, and things were awesome until the sustainability of those things started to collapse. And so do I think there was, other than the original rug that we went through, do I think anyone has ever been trying to game the project at the expense of our members. I don't think so. I honestly, I believe they were trying to do something amazing, and like I said, they did for a while.
Yeah. I mean, developing is hard, and I mean, for me, math is hard. So, you know, you look at how many crypto projects are created on the plethora of blockchains, L1s and L2s that are out there, that are here today and gone tomorrow.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands, if not tens of thousands. And you know, this industry is challenging. It's very challenging. But you know, the good devs that are out there innovating and creating new tech and evolving code to be able to do some amazing things. You know, this industry evolves by the second, by the minute, by the hour, by the day, by the week, by the month, by the year. I mean, it's exciting stuff. So no, I'm right with you there, James. You know, there was some amazing stuff that was done in Axion past, and it worked until it didn't. I mean, it's plain and simple, but I wouldn't chalk it up to be a failure. It's obviously it's a learning experience, and you know, we're still here. That's all I can say.
And it is the sum of everything that has made us who we are today.
Yeah.
And so, good, bad, ugly, whatever, however you interpreted or felt about it at the time, it all has accumulated and culminated in what we're doing today. And we're taking those lessons, we're taking those experiences, and we're gonna build something that really lasts, and something that, you know, once we're really up and running and we've got all the there are some regulatory check boxes that we need to check, but I am really looking forward to hosting one of the first registered fundraisers on the system that we can support, and be a part of. I'm really looking forward to that. So,
well,
that is cool.
One other thing that I will say is that what my hope is for the Axion DAO is to become an ecosystem where there's not so much of this PvP, you know, player versus player going on, where everybody's out trying to get the cookie before the other guy. Want to see an ecosystem where the community actually comes together and everybody operates in good faith, not only for themselves but for the good of their fellow community members or DAO members, and get, you know, leave this player versus player mantra in the past, because it is a bit of a pandemic, you know, across blockchain. You know, it doesn't matter which blockchain you're operating on. It just seems to be a lot of player versus player. You know, just that attitude, and I don't think it's healthy for projects long term, because that sort of behavior can tend to not only burn out the community members, but it can start to burn out the team. It can start to burn out the project, because people end up with a bad taste in their mouth, and you know, that can sort of start to build up into somewhat of a big tidal wave, and when that wave comes crashing down, it leaves things in shambles. So that's what I'm looking forward to is, and I can see the vision. I can see that that's what's being built. That's how it's being laid out, is, you know, like I mentioned in the last live stream, we're creating a safe space for TradFi to find and learn about blockchain and feel safe and being introduced to DeFi into an ecosystem that is not only going to educate them, but protect them as well. So yeah, I'm looking forward to the journey. It's, you know, we're walking, you know, they say you got to walk before you can run. We're walking right now. We're walking.
And we were crawling.
We were face down in the dirt, brother.
No, I'm excited, guys. I really am. Thank you for your comments, Big Bear, for your support and for helping us get to this point. We do have some awesome things lined up and ready to roll forward. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody who's ever supported the project. And we're not done yet. We're just getting started. And with that, I think we'll go ahead and call it a day, right at about 48 minutes, because we love to talk. See, Big Bear and I, we love to talk. So, hey, you know what? That's the best brainstorming on the planet. All right, guys. Cheers. Have an awesome weekend. Stay tuned for some more announcements, and we'll see you next Thursday for our weekly report. Cheers.
All right. Be blessed, everyone. Cheers.